Good morning, everybody. This is Ricky, and welcome to Hope for Today. What kind of mark are you making on the people that God has entrusted to you? You know, all of life is all about making marks in the hearts and lives of other people to the glory of God. That's what success is, biblically speaking. That is what achievement is, biblically speaking. Now, I want you to make as much money as you can. I want you to move up in your career. I want you to get accolades from the world and all that good stuff. All that's well and good. But at the end of the day, when we meet Jesus and when he says, well done, it will be because we made marks. We made impact in the lives of others to the glory of God's name. All of this can be housed in one word: discipleship. That the fruit of life is all about pouring out of yourself into the lives of others to bring people to maturity in their faith in Jesus. And all of us need to be doing that in our life. And I would submit to you that that happiness of life, the awesomeness of life happens not when something happens to you, but when you do something great for others through discipleship, through encouraging people, through teaching them God's word, through supporting them in their life to do what God's called them to do. So if you're a family man today, I want to encourage you to pass on the blessing of how God has blessed you. If you're a mama, I want you to remember that that's the ultimate goal of motherhood, is to whisper the truths of the gospel into the next generation. If you are dating somebody, that's how God uses you to make a mark and encourage and mark the lives of that person you're dating. If you're a coworker, if you are a dude roommating with 19 other dudes because your rent is like $14 a month, God calls you to be a blessing to them. I remember this song back, I think it was the 80s. And it was sung by Patti LaBelle. And obviously, as I sing the song, my voice will be very reminiscent of Patti. Okay. The song went like this: when you've been blessed, it's like heaven, heaven. When you've been blessed. And then she would say this: pass it on, pass it on. It's the idea that God doesn't just want you to house the blessings of his truth and of his word, but he wants you to pass those things on and make marks in the lives of others. So whether it's a small group or whether it's just moments as a dad, you're just pausing to bring the family together for prayer, whether you're just calling all the children and saying, you know what, I just wanted to pray with you to tell you I love you. Make marks in the lives of others. In 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 2, Paul celebrates this with his son in the faith, Timothy. And he says, listen, the things you've heard from me in the presence of many witnesses, and trust now this stuff to faithful men who will be able to teach others also. What's Paul saying? He's saying, Timothy, you've been blessed. Now pass on that blessing. My daddy's a good man. And I remember when I was about third grade, us kids, he decided that he wanted more time with us. And so for a season, we stopped going to Wednesday night prayer meeting at church, which in the South is punishable by death. And we stopped going to Wednesday night because he says, you know what? I want to mark my children, and I want them to hear me teach the word. And so we started a Wednesday night Jenkins church service. And on Wednesday nights, he would open up his Bible, and us kids would sit down and he would tell the stories of Gideon and Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and the Red Sea and Jericho. And I learned the word from my daddy, marking a moment for me, passing on the blessing to the next generation. We'd even have communion service where daddy would just get out the Welch's grape and the saltine crackers, and he would teach us about Jesus and the love of Christ. And he marked me. And as a dad of 3 kids, 6, 4, and 2, the sheer joy I have now of passing on what has been passed on to me is the great blessing of my life. And so I charge you today, pass it on to your spouse, pass it on to your kids, pass it on to your roommates, pass it on to your neighbor, pass it on to your coworker, because the awesomeness of life is not found with the blessings that come to you, but with the blessings you pass on to someone else. Pass it on. And that's hope for today. I'll see you next time.